Good morning and welcome back to Planet Doug. It is Tuesday, February 11th, 2025 here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And that's a very important date because the Hindu festival Thaipusam, this year it falls on February 11th. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm out beside the Klang River and I'm on my way to the KTM train station because they've put on a lot of extra trains to carry the hundreds of thousands of visitors that are heading out to Batu Caves today. Because Batu Caves, a cave complex about 8 or 9 kilometers north of KL, that's the focal point for Thaipusam celebrations here in Kuala Lumpur. And an interesting thing about Thaipusam is the name itself, Thaipusam, comes from the Tamil name for this month, which is Thai, and Pusam, which is the name of a star that is at its highest and brightest right now. So the name of the festival combines those two words, Thaipusam. And it always happens on the first full moon day of the Tamil month of Thai. That's when Thaipusam takes place. And I just noticed as I was walking along here in between these two buildings, you can see the full moon, very, very bright, very full. So that is the first full moon of the month of Thai. Hence, I'm on my way to Thaipusam. One of the challenges for a visitor like myself going to Batu Caves for Thaipusam is simply getting to Batu Caves. And what I'm trying to do this morning is to get there by KTM train. I've done this in the past. I've been out to Batu Caves many times in all my visits to Kuala Lumpur, and I usually take the KTM train to get out there. But Thaipusam takes the processions that go up to Batu Caves go very early in the morning, and normally trains aren't running yet. But for Thaipusam, the KTM has put on extra trains. So the trains are running 24 hours a day and they are free to head out to Batu Caves. You don't have to pay for them. But I was looking at the schedule and I couldn't quite figure out the schedule, like when exactly the trains are going or not going. And the schedules that I did find, I don't know whether you can actually trust them or not. And I'm actually meeting someone at a temple near Batu Caves, hopefully so that I could follow the procession of some men that are carrying Kavadi, or the traditional burdens, from this temple to Batu Caves. So I have to be out there at a specific time. So just to make sure that I get there at a specific time, I'm here walking to the KTM station relatively early. It's just after 5 o'clock in the morning, and so I want to be at the train station in plenty of time just to make sure that I'm there when one of the trains shows up. I normally like to leave from KL Central. That's where I would like to depart from because that's more of a main departure point, and the trains will be more empty, not quite as crowded. But that's like 2 or 3 kilometers further on from here. And I don't want to wear out my legs before the day even begins. So I can catch the KTM train right here. I'm at Pasar Seni Station. And the Kuala Lumpur train station is just across the river here. So I'm going to take this pedestrian bridge, head over to Kuala Lumpur station, and head down to the tracks to catch this KTM train. And I would go down to KL Central, except that the MRT system doesn't start running until 6. So even though the KTM trains are running 24 hours a day, the MRT and LRT are not. So I can't take the MRT to get down to KL Central. This is the entrance to the train platform. So they have a nice sign here. Some kind person made it themselves. Batu Caves, Platform 2. I love a good sign, and I appreciate them because, yeah, someone like me, as soon as we arrive at the train station, it's like, okay, we're at the train station, that's all well and good, but which platform? So right here, Platform 2, Batu Caves. So yeah, yeah, here we are, Kuala Lumpur station, heading to Batu Caves from here as well. Well, I guess this one here. And I did say that the trains were free right now. You don't have to pay for them, but you still have to make sure you have a way to pay. So you have to have some sort of a touch and go card or buy a ticket. And then that allows you access to the tracks. But when you clock out the other side, you don't get charged, but you still have to have some sort of a payment system to get on. And I remember from before, it's a bit tricky too because the platforms here, the train tracks are very, very long. And if you wait over here, where I am now, you're going to miss your train because it stops way down there. These are all these things. The first time you do something like this, you figure all this out. And then the next time you do it, well, now you know. For the second time, you get to make all your mistakes the first time. And here's Platform 2, where I'm hoping to catch the train. And as I said, I wanted to start from KL Central because you know that from there the train will be largely empty when it arrives. There's lots of room on the train. This time of the morning, it's still just like 5:15. The train should still have space on it, but you just never know. So I'm just hoping that when the train pulls into this station, I'll be able to get on. Should be okay. Late at night and early in the morning is always such a fascinating time to be out and about. I'm generally not around late at night, not being a night owl. I'm what you call a morning person. So I see hours like this, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, much more frequently than I do 11 or 12 at night, oddly enough. And it always surprises me. You get out into the world at 5 a.m., even 3 a.m., and there's people everywhere. And it's just funny that you think everybody would be sleeping somewhere, but there's a lot of activity, even at 5 o'clock in the morning. This is kind of cool, part of the modern world. They have big signs here where you can scan the QR code to get a train schedule. But the interesting thing, of course, is that the QR code is specific to this station and specific to this platform that you're actually standing on. So it's not like the old days where you'd look at one master schedule and then have to figure it out. So I scanned this code and I got this schedule, and it does show the extra trains that they've put on. So there is one at 5:09, but it says it was delayed, so maybe it hasn't even arrived here yet. And then there's the next one heading to Batu Caves is at 5:39, and that's the one that I was intending to take, the 5:39. Leaves from KL Central at 5:35. So it's good to see that the schedule that I found is being duplicated here. So everything should be okay. And then the next one after that is at 6:09. So I should be able to get on one of those trains even if I miss one of them. This could be the train that was delayed. What does it say at the front? Can't read it. Oh yeah, Batu Caves. Plenty of room in the train. That's lucky for me that the train was delayed, so I'm able to take an earlier train than I had planned. It's here at 5:23 instead of 5:39. there's the KTM system. It's totally different from the MRT, LRT that I normally ride. And it looks like this one, yeah, came all the way from here. Sungai. Gadu. And then, of course, all the red lights are where it's already been. Arrived in KL Central. And then came up here to Kuala Lumpur. And the terminal station is Batu Caves. All right. Yeah, during the daytime, like during night, out of the extra trains, they're running every hour, they said. But then during the day, they have extra trains as well. So this train will be operating every 30 minutes, which would be nice. When you're trying to leave from Batu Caves, that can also be a bit of a challenge. So if there's a train leaving every 30 minutes, then yeah, you have a chance of getting on the train to come back to Kuala Lumpur. We'll see how that turns out. The train just arrived at the final station, Batu Caves station. It's about 10 to 6 in the morning, I think. And even this train, such an early train, ended up being more full than you'd expect. All of these people arriving this early in the morning. And of course, Batu Caves is over there inside quite a large limestone hill, limestone cliffs. I think I was reading the other day that these caves, the Batu Cave complex, they were created 400 million years ago, so they're quite old. Oh. Thank you. Honestly, I was not expecting this much activity so early in the morning. Not even 6 a.m. And look at how many people are already here. And again, it kind of makes sense in a way, because today is the main day of Thaipusam, but it has actually been going on for several days already. So there have been celebrations going on up here for all of the last several days. Yeah, to enjoy a Thaipusam, I think you have to be okay with crowds, with lots of people, a lot of activity, a lot of sound.
Rice biryani, waga, try first time in Malaysia. Noodle biryani, pate wali danga noodle biryani, pate wali danga, bowl noodle biryani, pate wali, anji wangning naka, ninga, lucky draw qualified dieting. So lucky draw order, first prize pathina, fly to Bali. So Bali ki bora flight ticket free. So Wanga, what the Vangi support pananga first time in Malaysia. Wanga sister, Wanga brother, what will try to pananga signature dish, veggie noodle biryani, initially first time in Europe.
There are actually quite a number of cave systems here. The main cave is off in that direction. But there are other cave systems, like right ahead of me there you can see Hanuman, the monkey god. And there's a cave here that tells the whole story of the Ramayana, the epic story there. I've been inside all of the caves here at one time or another. So yeah, it's kind of what I suspected. The crowd here, these are all people waiting, I think, to get into the train station. But how in the world, at 6 o'clock in the morning, this many people trying to leave from Batu Caves? That seems unusual to me, but I get maybe they've been here all night and now they're trying to go back to KL. But yeah, there's already a huge crowd trying to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yikes. There's some Batu Caves. So I'm thinking about getting a little something to eat. So I think I got something that will satisfy me. Right here, they're selling vegetarian noodles and vegetarian biryani. And that fits in with the whole Thaipusam philosophy, because if the devotees, they can be preparing for Thaipusam for 24 days, 48 days, and they're fasting. And the fasting for Thaipusam involves there's like one small vegetarian meal per day, so they follow a vegetarian diet, things like that. So this is what I ended up getting. So noodles and the sauce.
Chicken, rice biryani, try so அது மட்டும் இல்ல 5 பிரியாணி வாங்குனீங்கன்னா நீங்க ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா லக்கி டிராக்கு குவாலிஃபைட். ஸோ நம்ம லக்கி டிராவோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ப்ரைஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா டிக்கெட் டு பாலி, ஃப்ளை டு பாலி.
வாங்க வாங்க, வெஜிடேரியன் சிக்கன் பிரியாணி வந்து வாங்கிட்டு போங்க. நல்லா சூடா இருக்கு, தலப்பாக்கட்டியோட இருக்கு. தலப்பாக்கட்டி பிரியாணி.
That hit the spot. I really needed something to eat. And there are very great marketers there. I don't know what's quite going on. Something called Boom Biryani and Boom Vegetarian Noodles. And if you buy a meal there, you can win a trip to Nepal or something like that. I don't think I was entered for the contest. But they had an entire soundboard there where they were like raising the level of the music and then lowering it to talk about get your biryani here, get your vegetarian noodles here, and then they raised the music. So they had like a whole DJ thing going on. But yeah, it was very good. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to find a small temple nearby, and I'm meeting up with someone there who is going to be carrying a Kavadi from the temple to Batu Caves, a procession. I think they call that the practice is called Kavadi Atam, carrying the burden. And it is, I think translates a little bit like burden dance, where they carry a Kavadi on their shoulders, and it's a little bit of penance, it's devotion, it's a combination of many ideas. But I'll be going to this temple where a lot of the Kavadi, the men carrying the Kavadi, will be gathering there and then going in a procession to Batu Caves. But I have to find this place first, and that may or may not be easy. Stage 1, I think I have to get across the train tracks, and I need this pedestrian bridge to get there. I think. Yeah, it's actually much more of a festive atmosphere than I was expecting. Because when you read about Thaipusam and the Kavadi Atam and preparations, there is an emphasis on austerity, on yogic discipline, so that when they are preparing to carry the Kavadi, it could be as many as like 48 days where they're dedicated to prayer, fasting, cleanliness, sleeping on a hard floor. And this is all part of a spiritual and physical preparation for carrying the burden. So when you read all of that, you get a certain sense of what Thaipusam is all about. It is very different from what I'm experiencing all around me right now. Very different atmosphere. Wow. There's a whole lot more going on over there. Wow, these are dangerous steps, to be honest. Dark. A lot of elderly people struggling to get up those stairs. Wow. So there's Batu Caves over there. This is where I just was having my vegetarian noodles. All of this, 6 o'clock in the morning. And then, yeah, just an endless flow of people, even going across this pedestrian bridge. That is wild. And there's a whole bunch more going on over here. Oh, so there's the procession's already underway with the Kavadi. I swear I could feel this pedestrian bridge swaying from side to side with the weight of the people that are crossing right now. I hope I'm heading in the right direction. With all these people walking by me right now, they have the, I think they call it pal atam or pale atam. It's the pots of milk that they're carrying. That is their Kavadi. And they carry the pots of milk up to Batu Caves, and they give it to a Hindu priest, and the priest will remove the lid and then pour the milk over the statue of Lord Murugan. And it's an offering, it's devotion, but it's also like the milk in your pail, in your container, symbolizes a burden that you are carrying, your own personal burden. And your burden goes into the milk, and when you pour it over Lord Murugan, he purifies it and takes on the weight of your burden. And in exchange, of course, you offer devotion to Lord Murugan with the symbolic act of carrying the burden to him, your Kavadi. But yeah, it's a fascinating idea. And the Kavadi also incorporates this idea of the burden dance, carrying this heavy load. And there's also part of it is what they call, I guess, mortification, putting skewers through your skin, through your cheek, your tongue, and putting hooks in your skin. And the hooks are connected to a cord or cable attached to the Kavadi. So it's supporting your burden. And it's said that with the burden dance, you almost go into a kind of trance. And the trance helps you endure the pain of the heavy burden and the hooks and the skewers in your skin. So there's a lot going on. Whew. Made it across the bridge and down. So there's the pedestrian bridge up above me. So I guess it's the main connection between this side of the railroad tracks and over there. So I think I'm going to check on my map, but I think I have to head in this direction. Thank goodness for Google Maps. I was going in completely the wrong direction. I would have no hope of finding this place right now if I didn't have Google Maps, or at least it would be a lot more challenging. So I guess a lot of these areas are sort of staging points for the processions. From that, it's not hard to buy into this idea that the music, the rhythm, can lead you into almost a trance-like state. Here we have a very large Kavadi coming towards us with peacock feathers, which are very important. I think I found my road where I'm supposed to go. Honestly, who had any idea that all of this was underway? When I was walking to the train station, the streets were largely empty, quiet, sedate, and I thought Batu Caves would be like that at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, but clearly I was completely wrong. So I'm getting very close to the temple where I'm meeting up with Sat, the man Sat that I'm meeting. I met him on Sunday night. I went to the Sri Maha Mariamman temple in Chinatown in Kuala Lumpur because the Silver Chariot containing the statue of Lord Murugan left from that temple 9 o'clock at night on Sunday night. And I went there to witness the chariot leaving the temple and starting its journey to come to Batu Caves. And while I was there, there's a very large crowd of people. And the man standing beside me, I started chatting with him, and his name was Sat, and he told me that he has been carrying a Kavadi to Batu Caves on Thaipusam for the last 35 years. This might be his 35th year doing it, and he invited me to meet him at the temple here, and I can walk along with the procession. So that's kind of what's going on here. And it's very, very dark here. Not a lot of lights. So I'm pretty sure I've arrived at the temple where I'm going to be meeting Sat. I haven't gone inside yet. He said he would be here around 6:45, and it's just about that time right now. And before I go in, I thought I'd, talk a little bit about what I know of the story of Lord Murugan. And there are lots of different versions of this with a lot of vocabulary, but in general, I think the idea is that long ago, there were 3 what they call asuras. And an asura is a Hindu deity. And these asuras are known, it's a class of Hindu deity that's a little bit I don't know, their emotions take them over, they're greedy, their negative qualities sort of dictate what they do, these asuras. And there were three in particular who petitioned Shiva, and Shiva gave them a boon, gave them near immortality and dominion over the three worlds. And you see the number 3 come up all the time. So, for example, the three worlds would be Earth, Heaven, and the Netherworld. And these three asuras became something of tyrants in those worlds. And the other deities didn't like what they were doing, and they went to Shiva and petitioned him for help to get these asuras under control because they were behaving like tyrants. And then Lord Shiva, he manifested 5 extra heads. So there were 6 heads in total, and a divine spark came out of each head. And originally the wind god carried these divine sparks, but they produced so much heat, they were overpowering, and he couldn't handle them. And the wind god deposited the 6 divine sparks into the Ganges River. But they were so hot that the Ganges River would boil and was evaporating. So the goddess of the Ganges moved the 6 divine sparks to a large lake. And in the lake, they were taken over by 6 handmaidens. I think they were called Krikitas or something like that, these handmaidens. And they took care of the divine sparks, and they grew into 6 individual boys. And then as they were growing up, the goddess Parvati came and brought the 6 boys together and fused them into one, a 6-headed being, or a being with 6 faces, and that was Lord Murugan. And Lord Murugan now is considered to be the Hindu god of war, but he's a lot more complex than that. He is the god of war, and his purpose was to go into battle with the asuras. So he put together an army of his own devas, who are sort of the good gods. He assembled an army and went into battle with the asuras. And the main asura, which sometimes is called a demon in the literature, is Surapadman. Yeah, Surapadman. So Lord Murugan went into battle with Surapadman, the asura, and his main weapon was a divine spear called a vel that was given to him by his mother, by Parvati. And he was victorious. He defeated the asuras. Lord Murugan defeated Surapadman. And at the end of the battle, he used his divine spear to split the demon in half, and he transformed into mango trees. And then one of the mango trees, I believe, transformed into a rooster. The other one eventually transformed into a peacock. And you see that symbolism everywhere. We'll see it today with Lord Murugan, because he adopted the peacock as his, I think, vahana is the name for it, his animal companion, his vehicle, so his mount. So you often see Lord Murugan with a peacock, and that is his animal companion, his vehicle, as it were. And then you also see the rooster, because the rooster will be on Lord Murugan's flag. And you often see Lord Murugan, of course. He's always carrying his vel, his divine spear that was given to him by his mother, the goddess Parvati. So that is my understanding of the story of Lord Murugan. But as I said, it is a lot more complex than that. He's more than just the god of war, because there's a lot of wisdom associated with him, austerity, spirituality. So a lot of the devotees, as I said, when they're preparing to carry the burden, to carry the Kavadi to Batu Caves to present to Lord Murugan, they prepare for it with up to 48 days of spiritual and physical preparation. prayer and meditation and an ascetic sort of lifestyle, fasting, shaving their head, abstaining from all worldly pleasures, no matter what they are. And so that is sort of the background to what is going on here. And my friend, my new friend Sat, will be carrying quite a large Kavadi today. He said it weighs like 30 or 40 kilograms. And he invited me to come here and sort of witness the preparations and then go with them as they carry the Kavadi to Batu Caves and present them to Lord Murugan. I just heard from my friend Sat, and he's on his way here. I've just been hanging out sort of outside the temple. I haven't wanted to go in on my own, but it's been interesting to witness all the preparations. A lot of the Kavadi are being brought out from the back, and I assume they've been working on them for quite a long time, getting them all back into shape and preparing for today. Yeah, this is all brand new to me. I don't really know how it's organized. This, whether you call this a temple or a society, it's like Dores Mai Kavadi or Dores Mi Kavadi since 1964. But everyone here, everybody seems to know everybody else. They're like a small community. Everyone's greeting each other like long lost friends and getting the Kavadi ready. So Sad has arrived and he invited me into the compound here, the temple, and everyone is getting their Kavadis ready. And Sad actually has a whole set of brothers who are also taking part in the Kavadi Atam. Is that what you call it?
Kavadi Atam, yeah.
Sort of like the burden dance
And then you start piercing and all that kind of stuff. The prayer starts.
I see. And this is one of Sat's brothers,
Hello, hi everyone.
Naresh.
Naresh, yeah.
Naresh. And Naresh was going to tell us something about the Kavadi, part of your family here.
Yeah, so for the last 20 odd years, so these are various kind of Kavadis that we call it, or family Kavadis. And you can see it's all made of various kind of materials. And the key one here you can see is the peacock feathers. That kind of symbolizes a companion of Lord Murugan. Mm-hmm. And you can see the feathers are all, everybody has his own unique ways, and you got the big ones here, and you have those who start off their journey where I did it many years ago, which is the small Kavadis.
I see.
Where you carry it on your part of your shoulder, the side, whichever, left or right, and then you kind of just upgrade and go to the bigger ones. And these are about 30, 40, 50 kgs.
Okay.
Right? And everybody has his own deities. Of course, Lord Murugan is where the focus are, but everybody has his own, as you later will see, everybody gets trances of different deities.
Really?
Yeah,
I
so
didn't know that.
Some Amman, you got some Murugan, you got Ganesha, and some Amman, the mother. So these are all very interesting type of deities, and it all depends on how they fast. For the last 48 days, 21 days, 7 days, it depends. Whoever can fast at that particular period of time. And today will reflect everybody's journey for the last at least 1 month for most of us, yeah.
And what do you call the practice of the skewers and the hooks in the flesh?
So
what is that called?
Alaba means it's all the piercing. So the spear of Murugan is the weapon where his mother has given him to fight Lord Patnasurat. So pretty much the spear is the one kind of symbolizes the weapon.
I see.
Beating the villains, right? So as a sacrifice for our vows and fulfilling our vows, piercing becomes a custom.
I see.
So you go through pain, you go through abstinence from everything that you typically do, no different to Lent.
Right.
Right, so you're trying to not do what you typically do, where you live the most. So you abstain from that, so we kind of bring you down to earth. So level-headed, just, we sleep on the floor, no non-veg, so purely vegetarian, and full focus on Lord Murugan. So everybody has their respective vows, and pretty much various people have different vows, like in terms of, some wishing for a kid, which they never had. So when they got the kid, they come and complete their vows, and for various matters as well. Sure.
So is this one yours?
That's mine, and that's that. So he's testing it out.
Just
So we're
testing.
going through the whole testing period.
I see.
Because once we go through the ceremony, where the piercing ceremony will be here.
I see.
So our leader will start, one of the leaders later we can introduce to him, but he's on if you can see some who are covering their mouth right now, they are on a non-speaking, they're not allowed to speak. That's another version of abstaining from certain stuff.
I
So
see.
maybe for the last 3 days, they've not been speaking. And then they will start piercing, and then everybody starts having a queue, and they start piercing each other. Getting pierced.
I see.
Including us. So once we're done there, then we start getting fixed with the carving. So you gotta have sponges in our waist and stuff like that, which you can see.
Right,
In the
I
red
was
kind
just
of
seeing
side.
that, yeah.
If not, the steel will start poking you, right? So
Right.
that, and then of course your shoulder pads, right? So, and as soon as we finish, and then we will start hooking some hooks on our chest and behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then this is where it will start. So most of the group will go, and then some may break off here and there, but eventually we'll go up, which is the main focus. Have you gone up?
Yeah. Well, I haven't, not this time.
Okay.
I've been to Thaipusam before, like years ago.
Okay.
But today I just came from the train station.
Nice, okay.
over to here.
Gotcha. Midnight was a massive crowd.
Yeah.
This midnight was uncontrollable.
Really?
So bad. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was wondering about that. So Naresh is testing his Kavadi, and I wasn't sure how the round metal bars went around your waist, but it actually opens up on a hinge, and then he steps into it, and then the shoulder pads support the weight, and then the metal band around the waist keeps it balanced. And as I was talking about earlier, the peacock is the vehicle or animal companion for Lord Murugan. So a lot of these Kavadi are decorated with peacock feathers all around the outside and here on the front. Let's see. And I mentioned, Naresh was talking about the spear that Lord Murugan used. And all the statues of him, you see him holding the spear. There seems to be quite a large storage area in back for all of the Kavadis. So there's a lot more of them back here. And they're all trying them out. And I noticed this one here is quite elaborate, made out of wood and sort of a cloth strap. You can see all of the peacock feathers. So this is Sat. We met him in my previous video from Sri Maha Mariamman temple, and he was kind enough to invite me here to take part and witness everything going on here. So we're at a temple.
Yeah.
And what is the name of the temple?
Maha Mariamman Indian Settlement Temple.
But I see on the T-shirts it says
Doraisamy Kavadi is the founder of this temple.
Oh, so it's the name of a person.
Yeah, he's the most famous priest over here, and basically his grandson. I think you've seen him. He was helping me just now with the Kavadi and while we're testing.
Okay.
So he's the grandson of that particular Doraisamy Kavadi.
So everyone here is a member of this temple.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So how would that happen? Like you don't all live in this neighborhood.
No, so we basically meet 1 year once
Oh, I see.
for this festival.
Okay, because everyone seems to be greeting each other like old friends,
yeah.
like you haven't seen them for a long
That's
time.
how long has it been? It's like very long, 30 odd years. Some of them 40 years, 50 years.
Really?
This place has been here for like about 100 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Very good. Yeah.
And do you know the story of Lord Murugan? Like the simple version of like why, like the story of Lord Murugan, basically.
Simple version would be there was a demon that basically prayed to Lord Shiva, because even demons those days actually pray to gods. So he was so staunch that Lord Shiva actually granted him a boon.
Okay.
What do you want? And this guy, his name is Surapadman.
Sura Padman.
Yeah, so he said, you know what, I want immortality. No gods can kill me. So when he got the boon, and then arrogance got into him, and he became very arrogant and started killing other people and torturing the devas, the other gods, demigods. So eventually they pleaded to Lord Shiva, like, this guy has been torturing us, so you need to find a way. I know you gave him a boon, but you need to find a way. So eventually what happened was Shakti, which is Parvati, his consort, said you have to do something about it. And he basically said, okay, from his third eye, he created Murugan, just for this guy.
I see.
So when he came to the world to destroy Surapadman, and that's when the mom gives him the veil. From her body, she basically created the veil from her body and gave it to the son to go and kill him.
I see.
And Murugan is very kind enough, because when he killed Surapadman with the veil, even though he's a demon, but because Surapadman can disguise himself, so he became a trunk, a tree trunk. So Murugan threw his veil, got to the trunk, and the trunk went split into two. One became the peacock, which is his vehicle, and the other one became a hen, a chicken, as his flag.
It's his flag.
So so basically, it symbolizes that even if you're a demon, he still has the compassionate heart to basically to reignite you, from your sins, and he keeps you close together to him, even though that you were totally a devil or a demon.
Yes,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, that is.
It is, really is. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Yeah. And your brother was talking about how the skewers are related to the vel,
Correct.
the spear.
Correct.
Represents the spear that he used.
Because
to defeat
he
the
was a demon, and the spear got to him, and he basically got his moksha, liberation. So that's the reason why we pierce,
I see.
to get that little bit of moksha.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Just want to add one more thing. It doesn't matter how big your kavadi is, or a pal kudam, which is a pot of milk. You can't tell that someone is carrying a bigger kavadi is better than the other person.
I see.
No such thing. It's all part of the devotion. So you can even carry a small pot of milk that is equivalent as how a person is carrying a big kavadi. So there's no difference in that. It's just the heart and the devotion.
Okay, good point.
Right? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you get back
All right,
to
sure,
your
sure.
preparations.
In a bit.
Yeah, I'll take it. You're getting another Kavadi ready. He put on the lower portion first, and then all of his helpers raised up the top portion. Now they're fastening it in place with bolts. Yeah, so it's a real construction project. And I noticed that the women are involved in setting out the milk pots, the pal Kavadi or pal kadam, and then offerings on the banana leaf, bananas, fruit, coconut, things like that. Could you introduce yourself?
I'm Janardhani. My husband was Raman, late Raman. So my boys have been taking Kavadi for many, many years. Satyan started first because I had a lot of problems in my pregnancies. very complicated pregnancies and all those things. So then when I had a vow to Murugan, says without any operation, without any complication, if I have a baby, for 5 years I will shave his hair, and the 5th, when he's 5 years old, I'll take Palkudam and Kavadi for you. So he has been doing it from that year till now. He's 45. He's been done doing it, and it's been Murugan has showed so many ways to our lives and family, and God faith and spiritual path has been totally gone into my family line, and now my grandchildren are continuing with it. So blessings from God. Lord Murugan has done a lot.
So you have a really strong family connection with Thaipusam, with Lord Murugan.
Yes.
It's interesting. And you have 5 sons?
I've got 4 sons.
4 sons.
Yeah.
And I've met 3 of them, I guess. And
the elder fellow is in Florida, and he has got 2 sons.
I see. Very good-looking set of sons, I have to say. Yeah.
My brother-in-law has got 5 boys.
So I've noticed in Thaipusam, it's the men who carry the Kavadi, the large ones like this. But what is the role of women in the procession going to Batu Caves?
Equally, it depends on what is the vow they are taking. Like my daughter-in-law, she took Palkudam. They just take the pot of milk.
Right.
They fast and they take the pot of milk for him. She wanted to conceive, and Naresh and Nisha, vowed, and then she did it, and that it is going on like that. So the ladies, it depends on, there are also people who take the Kavadi, but they don't have to carry the Kavadi. They take small ones, but they also pierce.
Also?
Yeah, they also pierce, and they do fasting. It depends on how strong their fasting is. It depends individually. There are people who fast with only one meal. There are people who fast with only fruits. There are people who fast only with no food at all, just drinking water. So it all depends on the individual.
I see.
What their inner heart says, and they want to do it. And then they carry on with things.
So the women can be involved in exactly the same way as the men. It's up to them.
And then you will see couples who didn't have kids when they vow, and then they have kids. They will have sugar canes, and then they will try a cradle over the sugar cane and carry the baby God gave, to up there. So there are so many ways of Kavadis.
So it sounds like Lord Murugan is connected strongly with having children.
Yep.
And yet he's considered like the god of war, right?
God of war, because he practically killed the Asura. He took the veil from Lord Parvati, and then he killed the Asura. So that is a very divine this thing. And he is the only one who was born through Shiva's Kundalini eye.
I see.
So from there, so he's practically a warrior, and then and he's a healer.
A healer as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Many diseases, many sicknesses, and all those things, they have vowed to him, and it has been cured. It's been cleared. There are many people who had a lot of blockage, and they have read Veil Maral, because there are so many spiritual mantras which you can sing. Kanda Shashti Kavasam, Veil Maral, Veil Virtham. There are so many things. So somewhere or other, when you're connected, when he needs to bring you closer to him, he will send a message through someone. And then it will get done.
And today, what are you going to be doing today?
Well, I practically support my kids. I've done my part those days.
Right.
So, but now they are carrying on. They are doing their own fasting. I support them, cooking for them, cleaning them, and then preparing the things which we have to bring here.
Yeah, I noticed you've been laying out some sacrifices in front of the Kavadi there.
Yeah, so normally before the Kavadi is given, before they carry the Kavadi, they will do the blessing, they'll do the prayers, and then whatever milk you are going to take will be tied to the Kavadi, and this is the milk which when you go up the hill, they will take it out and then they will give it to the temple and they will do the Abhishekam there.
I see. Where does the milk come from? Like, where do you get the milk?
We buy it from...
Just buy it from the store?
Buy it from the store. Because it's very difficult.
Look at that. It's my favorite milk, Dutch lady.
It's very difficult to get cow's milk nowadays.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
So we have to make do with packet milks and all.
Right.
But there are certain temples, Murugan temples, so what? They completely forbid packet milks. They say they want only cow's milk. So that time we really have to look for people who have the farm and we can get it from them.
Right, that's what I was thinking about, yeah. Is there anything else, like people in Canada who are completely unfamiliar with Thaipusam? Is there anything else they should know about it?
Well, Thaipusam is a celebration from Lord Murugan.
Okay.
And it's in the month of the Pusham Natchatram. The stars, of Pusham. And that's when, and it always comes from the harvesting, the January. It comes from Pongal. So the January starts, so the Thai Pongal starts on the 14th. So from then, the month of Thai Pongal starts. You see, then in that, the Thaipusam is where the Pusa Natchatram comes. So the stars of Pusam. That's a very special day for him. So the people in Canada, I would say, have faith. No matter it is Jesus or anybody for that matter, have faith. There must be something in our spiritual path for us to carry on, overcome challenges, So we always plug the phone to charge, isn't it?
Right.
Right. But we as human beings, we have got so many organs, all are working. What are we connected to? Where are we charging all this? Right? So there is a divine, it can be universe, it can be God, it can be Jesus, it can be Muruga, it can be Shiva, anybody for that matter. Have faith there is a divine power.
That's a wonderful message.
Yeah, with the divine power, you will learn from your challenges, overcome the challenges, because we all come here for a journey, for a purpose. To realize that we need to go deeper inside. We search for things outside, but actually everything is within us.
Thank you very much.
Very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Very interesting to hear all of that. Yeah, thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I guess it's her special role to put the garland on Lord Murugan there. Preparations are continuing, but they're getting closer and closer to being ready. I think now the next stage is for the Kavadi bearers. They will go through a sort of ceremony, like bathing in turmeric, ash powder, and then they go into a kind of a trance. And after they're in the trance state, they have the piercings put in place, and then they take on the Kavadi burdens. And I was told that once the musicians arrive, once you start to hear the drums and sounds like that, then everything is ready and then the procession will start and we'll head towards Batu Caves. But yeah, being this close to the preparations has been interesting. I've certainly picked up on a lot of things I wasn't aware of. One is the offerings that are placed at the base of every Kavadi on the banana leaf. And I didn't realize that the containers of milk were attached to the Kavadi as well. So you can see one there, the Pal Kadam. All of the Kavadi that I've seen here have the pails of milk attached to them as well, which I didn't realize that they were there. But yeah, you can see how it's attached there. I think these Kavadi here, you can see the sacrifice, the offerings in front, and then two Pal Kadam, one on either side.
என்னாலும் பாடல் என்று வாழ்த்துகின்ற மாரியம்மா தந்தையான இளப்பான தாராட்டை போத கணபதி போகே
seem to suddenly understand that it's time to go, time to start walking towards Batu Caves. This is the family that invited me to join them. Up at the front, that's Asad, the oldest brother, and Naresh, and the third brother right there. All of the people from that temple that I was with, we've all gone out onto the street and we're making our way towards Batu Caves. And that's where we're headed to eventually. There's the limestone cliffs. The caves are in there. I'm not sure if the group has a leader or any kind of a schedule. Everything just seems to be very organic. Things are just happening. It just feels like this is the way they're supposed to happen. Everybody just seems to know when it's time to go. There doesn't seem to be, as I said, a leader telling everyone what to do. Just very organic. There's some of our group way back there, going a bit slower. And it's interesting that they have so many different musical groups all going with from the same temple. I thought there would only be one for the whole temple, but there are at least 4 that I saw, maybe 5, so it's quite interesting. The main feeling I'm getting from all of it is an interesting one I wasn't expecting. It's one of sort of helpfulness, because you've got the Kavadi bearers, the ones carrying the burdens, and everyone in the family gathers around them to make sure that they're okay, checking up on them, adjusting the straps, adjusting the weight, asking them if they need something to drink. And as we're passing by the houses, people come out of the houses with buckets of cold water and pour them on the feet of the burden bearers. So it's just a real sense of community and generosity is what I'm picking up on here. Yeah, that's what I like most about it. With the family that I'm with here, the sons, they've got cousins and nephews, the grandmother there walking with her arm around, I think, her nephew. He's carrying a milk pot as his burden. The wife of Sati walking at his side, making sure that he's okay. And here, I think this is the youngest son, and 2 other members of the family walking with him, looking out for him. Things will likely get a bit more chaotic from this point because we're leaving the residential neighborhood and we're getting close to the larger road system. And from here, I'm not sure how we're getting to Batu Caves. I think the only way to do it is up on the elevated road up there. You can see a very large Kavadi going by up at the top there. I think that's where we have to go. But I'm guessing we're going to have to turn to the right, find an access ramp up onto that highway, and then go across on that bridge. So it's probably quite a long detour. I was wrong about the route. We turned left instead of right. And there's that's a pedestrian bridge that I walked across early this morning. I'm guessing maybe we go around here and then we climb up. We'll see. My second guess was right. We're actually on a highway on-ramp right here. And the on-ramp is going to curve around and go up here, and then we'll continue across that way. I guess guess going up to Batu Caves maybe is only half of the journey for the burden bearers. So then they have to come down as well, I guess. Go back to their starting point. This is the on-ramp that we've been walking up. Now we're going across on the bridge. There's Batu Caves just over there. That's where I was this morning, where I had my noodles. And just noticed this place here, Andy's Shaving Bulb. They specialize in shaving you bald, I guess. We are heading into a more crowded area. Perhaps those are the main gates into Batu Caves complex. They do quite a nice job of sealing the milk pods. I don't see any milk spilling anywhere, which is kind of a miracle when you think about it. And when they tie the milk pots to the Kavadi, they do a really nice job. I've never seen any of them fall off. You'd think at some point some of them would. Through the main gate into Batu Caves complex. It's about 20 to 12 now. The heat of the day has really started to come down. And I was just chatting with this is a family that I'm with. The three brothers are the main Kavadi bearers, but their nephews and cousins, they're here helping them out, carrying water for them, taking care of them. And I was talking to one of the caregivers, and he said, actually, now, this is where the real challenge begins. Like, in my mind, I think of it as people walking a great distance, carrying the burden, walking to Batu Caves being the challenge, the physically difficult part. But when you're dealing with so many people waiting in line to go up those stairs, it's actually standing here and waiting for a very long time in the hot sun. That's actually, he said, the most challenging part. And I believe him because, yeah, we've been in this lineup for, I don't know, 2 hours already, and it feels like we've hardly made any progress at all. And the idea, to be honest, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to go with them all the way up the stairs, but I might be. But yeah, getting from here to the base of the stairs would probably take another hour. And then to make our way up the stairs, that has to be another hour, I would think. So another 2 or 3 hours from this point. So this is when the real challenge begins. I have no burden, of course, other than my knapsack. I'm carrying my heavy camera bag, but it doesn't weigh 40 kilograms like these burdens do. And it's probably going to be a struggle for me to be in line this long. So yeah, much more difficult for them.
அறங்காவலர்கள் மரியாதைக்குரிய சிவகுமார் அவர்களே, டாக்டர் சுரேஷ்குமார் அவர்களே, திரு அபிகாபதி அவர்களே மற்றும் வாரிய உறுப்பினர்களே, His Excellency BNDG, the High Commissioner of India, and acting.
We're getting very close to the bottom of the stairs. I was speaking with someone here who was saying that on average you move ahead 20 inches every half an hour. So that gives you an idea of the kind of patience you need to come here for Thaipusam. So I can turn the camera around, show you where we are. So there's the entranceway to the stairs. And something else I learned that's quite interesting, that either last year or this year, but quite recently, they replaced the surface here. It used to be cement, some kind of cement that was very, very hot on your bare feet, but now they've replaced it with granite, and the granite doesn't absorb the sunshine. So as you can see, it's a very nice brand new surface. When you take off your shoes, it's not hot on your feet anymore. It's much more comfortable. Made it through with a lot of help. Needed a lot of people to help them get through there. Oh, this guy sailed all the way down, just sailed through on his own. No trouble. This is an unusual Kavadi. Long poles like this. Some sort of an animal face on each end. I've seen a number of these. And they definitely, the men with those Kavadis definitely need helpers, because when they dance, they swing around. It can be quite dangerous. They need to make sure that nobody gets hit in the head with them. close to the entrance. 20 inches every half hour, slowly but surely. Everyone tells me this is the time when you need patience for Thaipusam. So it's part of the sacrifice, part of carrying your burden, put up with physical discomfort and emotional discomfort. Wow. If the Kavadi get bigger every year, they're going to have to increase the height of the entrance. Wow, that was a chaotic time getting through there. I'm glad to be out the other side. It's funny, they talk about needing patience, physical stamina to do something like this. I have no trouble with patience or physical stamina, but as a typical Canadian, it's the noise level that eventually starts to get to me. And down there was so much noise. But the normal rule, of course, would be someone like me would not be allowed to come up this way. I'd have to be over there on the left, but Sati and his family stuck up for me and said, hey, he's with us. So I'm coming up the stairways with the devotees carrying the Kavadi. But yeah, it's like any other stairway or anything like that. You have to go you can only go as fast as the slowest person. So if there's one Kavadi bearer way up there at the top who's going very slowly, it means everybody has to rest and go slowly. You don't have a choice. Just creates a bit of a traffic jam. There's the other brother, he's down at the other platform. He can't move until we move. And we can't move until the person ahead of us moves. There's Lord Murugan. It's one of the tallest Murugan statues in the world. 41 meters, I think. 41 meters high. And I was wondering whether the long-tailed macaques would be here, but way too many people, so they're hiding in the jungle here. There's normally a lot of macaques here. It's one of the attractions of coming to Batu Caves. We'll probably see one or two just peeking out at us, but I don't see any at all right now.
Bail, 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 bail.
Almost at the top. We just had to go really slowly because of slower people ahead of us. Our main burden carrier, you could race up these steps no problem. You could run up these like a Rocky, but he has to wait until the people ahead of him continue. inside the main entrance of Batu Caves now, and the main line of devotees goes down some steps here to a temple And then at this temple, they give their pots of milk to a priest, and the priest pours the milk over a statue of Lord Murugan. And there's a large reservoir over there filling with milk. I've seen it before, but I think in this case, I'm just going to let my friends, Sat and his family, just sort of go ahead, and I'll meet them out on the other side. I'm not part of the devotees, so I would just be slowing down the lineup and getting in people's way, so thought I'd come out over to this side. Yeah, I never lose them because I recognize the Kavadi from this temple. They all have the same style. A sign over here puzzled me at first. I saw all of these would look like drinks for sale, but then there's a big sign that says no water, no cool drinks, and I couldn't figure that out. But it turns out these are all bottles of milk, so the devotees could buy milk here in case they don't have any for their offering. So this milk is not for sale to drink. It's all meant for an offering. Yeah, all of these are from the temple where I was this morning, all of these Kavadi. So these are the stairs down the far side, away from the milk offering area. So all of these people are leaving the temple. I think as I've gotten older, something about my feet changed. As a kid, I was barefoot all the time. I loved being barefoot, but last few years, for some reason, my feet really start to hurt. If I'm barefoot for even a short amount of time, my feet just start to ache so quickly, and I don't know why that would be. One of the main cave sites right here. I read somewhere that the Thaipusam has been taking place at this cave, at Batu Caves, since 1892. So, yeah, a lot of years, well over a century. Every year this has happened here. Of course, back in 1892, would have been a very different scene. Not nearly as many people back in the 1800s. Yeah, look at that. That's still the lineup for the milk. They still haven't got to the offering area, which is back in here. So everybody in that lineup has a long wait ahead of them still. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people who seem to be really suffering from heat exhaustion. People are sitting bent over, their head in their hands, and they really don't look like they can continue. So I think all of the emergency services are definitely needed for this holiday. A lot of volunteers and paid medical staff, ambulances, emergency services, medical tents. I think this is an emergency tent right over here. I mean, considering the crowds of people, the Kavadi, look at that, look at the entrance. Considering the scale of this, it's actually kind of a miracle that it goes off as smoothly as it does. And I think a lot of that has to do with how courteous people are. I've noticed that people are extremely courteous in this crowd, helping other people out, making room for other people, sort of asking people if they're okay, if they need assistance. Here you see so many of the peacocks, which I find is a fascinating part of the Murugan story, that his enemy, when he defeated his enemy, of course, his enemy turned into a mango tree, split in half, and then he turned into a peacock, and Lord Murugan adopted the peacock as his animal spirit, his animal companion, or his vehicle. So I find that interesting, just because his enemy ended up becoming his partner in a way, his helper. Wow. Oh yeah, there's I think there's some of my Kavadi from the temple. I didn't think they would get through this quickly, but they're here already. So I guess maybe that's how it works. But they leave their Kavadi here, perhaps. I think Naresh, he's sitting down for the very first time since they left from the temple. I don't think he rested at all during the entire trip. And they're finally removing the Kavadi, the burden. Gives you a sense of how difficult it would be to carry one of these on your own. It takes 5 or 6 men to lift it off him and keep it balanced. And just put it down on the ground. Yeah, I wasn't sure what happens to it after the end. I thought perhaps they would walk all the way back to the temple again, carrying it. Maybe they still do, I'm not sure. Or maybe they get left here and they pick them up later. Yeah, it's not easy getting out of one of those. Since I've come this far, I think I might as well walk up the last little bit. Hi. The last set of stairs to the inner cave. It's kind of hard to make progress. There we go. Back in a lineup. And I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but I think this is where the milk offering takes place, just back behind here. These are rough cement steps. You gotta be careful with your toes here. And here we are, the inner chamber of Batu Caves. Of course, I can't help but think back like tens of thousands of years ago when humans were living in caves like this. I wonder if the people that discovered this cave and kind of lived in it thought they had found a kind of paradise. It's based on caves that I've seen in the world. This is a very nice cave. You wanted to set up a house here, live here. A lot of dry areas, stay out of the rain. That was a bit of a struggle. Yeah, the line here kind of came to a dead end. It was hard to get through this last bit. Oh, looks like they're even, this is where I escaped. And they're blocking that off. No one's getting out that way anymore. I guess there's a ceremony inside this temple that everybody's interested in. I just came up here to, oh, I got out just in time. I would have been stuck in there. And you often see roosters in here as well, macaques and roosters. And of course with roosters, that's the other half of Sura Padman when he was defeated by Murugan. The mango tree cut in two, half turned into a peacock and the other half turned into a rooster. So I think that's why they have roosters here in this temple as well. So, here we are up at the top. Wow. Made it down to the bottom safely. That wasn't easy. I'm gonna see if I can get reunited with Sat and the family. So I'm not sure what they do after this. I think they have a meal back at the temple, but I'm not sure if they go straight back there or if they spend a lot of time here in Batu Caves. So we're heading back to the temple now, and we are bringing the Kavadi. I keep saying Kavadi, but I think I've heard everyone else around me say Kavadi or something like that. But anyway, the burden, we are bringing them back with us, but it's different people carrying them this time. And of course, it's easier this time because they don't have to wait 3 hours in line holding that burden, and of course they're not pierced or anything like that. So we have 2 new men carrying the heavier Kavadi, and they've invited me back to the temple to enjoy some Indian food when we get there. Big cleanup job here, that's for sure. Starting tonight and tomorrow. A lot of water bottles and drinks bottles. And a lot of people will have lost their shoes. I already saw them down below. There's so many pairs of shoes scattered around. Stopping for a moment here on the way out. Still a lot of people coming up. More going down now. And they were saying it's actually harder going down because these burdens knock you off balance. So it's hard to keep your balance when you're going down. You'd have a tendency to want to fall forward. But I've learned from experience, even holding a GoPro, I have to be really careful on steps. You lose track of where you're going, and you could easily fall forward. But yeah, we're quite a ways up when you look down at the promenade down there. Almost looks like you're looking straight down at it. The famous 272 steps. Now the sun is gone behind the clouds, which is nice. Not nearly as hot. Now I'm going to keep my eyes open for a spot down below with a convenient cold drink. I haven't been drinking very much today. Not nearly enough. I mentioned all the missing shoes. Look at all these flip-flops and slippers and shoes. Everybody's going home wondering where their shoes went. Look at this, yeah, scattered all over the place. If you know your size, you can pick something up. Yeah, look at this over here. Endless supply of sandals and shoes. Another grouping of them. Look at this collection. Wonder how many of them will ever get retrieved. Not very many. Some of them look like they've been here for days. My Thaipusam day is winding down. Very special day, as you saw. I'm back at the temple now, and someone had prepared a whole bunch of delicious Indian food for all of us. So I was waiting here with water for all of us to drink. Yeah, ended up being a really good day with a meal to fortify us when we got back. And the day is starting to break up. The group is saying goodbye and getting back in their cars, putting the Kavadi back into storage for next year. So I'm going to say goodbye to my hosts, to Sat and his wife and his brothers. They all invited me out here today. I'm going to say goodbye to them and see if I can get back on the KTM train, head back into KL. See how that goes. The red light means it's
All right.
means it's recording.
Perfect.
So, Sat, thank you for the invitation. You're an amazing host.
Pleasure is mine, and we're so happy that you're with us, enjoying the experience that what we've gone through.
Yeah, 35 years for you, that you said. This was the 35th?
Yeah, this was probably 35th. Actually, to tell you the truth, I'm actually losing count. Somewhere around 30, 35 or more. I'm not
Somewhere
sure.
in there, yeah, well, understandable.
Yeah.
Has it always been out of this temple, out of this site?
Always this time.
Always here. Interesting.
Yeah, I was a small boy. I still remember my days, So yeah, and you see most of the youngsters now are taking over.
Right.
The old school guys are still here, but the youngsters are slowly taking over. So that's a good thing. Right? A tradition needs to be, it needs to be there. If not, you lose identity.
Right. No, excellent. No, I had a really enjoyable time.
Thank you for joining us.
And I'll say goodbye to your wife and your brothers, and then head out. Oh, there's one of the stars of the show. We didn't get to talk that much today.
We didn't.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the day? How was it for you?
Beautiful, but then again, the challenges comes with it.
Yeah. This year, one of the more challenging years, perhaps.
Yep.
Because of why was that?
Probably because I took a break last year.
Oh, I see.
I had a break because of work.
Okay.
So, but then coming back into the routine, it takes time. But then, today showed that, usually probably we have like a 3-4 hours gap. But this time it went on even longer.
Right. Okay.
But it's always beautiful at the end.
Yeah. And looking forward to next year already.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we shall welcome you back again.
Yeah. You never know.
Got my number, so yeah.
Yeah. Stranger things have happened. So yeah. Thanks again for having me as a guest. Really enjoyed myself.
Douglas, it was a pleasure.
Always
Yep.
fun, family.
Everything happened for a reason, I told you.
I'm heading out. Oh,
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
All the best in your journey and your adventures.
thank you very much. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today.
No, thanks very much for the invitation.
Pleasure's ours.
Yeah, it made me feel very welcome.
Always, anytime. Always give a buzz to Sat.
Yeah, and I had a nice long chat with.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Come on, Douglas Palmbun. Yeah.
So
Have a good trip back, and we enjoyed you. Thank you for following us with the Kavadi. Such a great
okay.
great support.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it very much. Okay.
Enjoy Malaysia.
Yeah, I will. That's it, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
See you.
Bye bye. See you next time. Bye bye.
God bless.
So now, I'm doing this walk a third time. I walked from KTM to here, then, KTM to here, from here to the temple with the procession, back here, now back to the KTM, fourth time. But, every time is different though, because it was very dark in the morning when I came here, early in the morning, when I was so surprised by all the activity at Batu Caves. I honestly did not think it would be as active as that, honestly. And then, of course, when we went on the procession, I was focused on the drums and the dancing and everything to do with the procession. So here, on this walk back, I can just look around the neighborhood, sort of see where I was in the light of day. And we'll have to see just how busy the KTM train is. Yeah, Batu Caves. It's an incredible place. And when I talk to people about Batu Caves, the main thing I say about it is Well, it's right here. I mean, where else in the world for the cost of a subway train ride can you get to a location like this? It's very rare. I could see a site like Batu Caves being 500 miles away in a country, and people would say it was worth the journey to get there. And here in Kuala Lumpur, you can get here in 30 minutes, essentially on a commuter train. It's pretty amazing. There goes my train. Next one should be in about half an hour. So maybe I can get on the next train 30 minutes from now. I think I just have to walk down that direction, see how it goes. This was the part I was dreading about Thaipusam in general, but it doesn't look bad at all. The last time I did this, the crowd to get onto the train was just tremendous, filled this whole area. There's still a bit of a lineup, bit of a crowd, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that overwhelming. I'm just gonna have to, so this is the entry, gate B. I guess we just stand here and wait for the gates to open. Maybe we pay in advance. So let's go figure out the system here. So far so good. They have it on like a 2-barrier system. You actually stand behind a barred gate, and then they open the gate, and then you scan your tickets here, but then you end up here where you're actually not on the platform yet. They have you barred with another barred gate, so you have to wait until they open this. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure where it opens. I think it just opens there. But anyway, their system seems to be creating quite a bit of panic amongst people. Nobody really knows what to do or where to stand. But hey, it all works out in the end, I suppose. Now, I guess they'll open this gate, and then we can go out onto the train platform. I just figured out why they do it this way. The train, this is the terminal station, so the train pulls in. All the people on the train have to get off, clear the platform, then they can let us on the platform. If they let us on the platform first, there would be total chaos. So yeah, there's everybody getting off the train. It all makes sense. They finally opened the train doors. Feels like we've been waiting a long time. And you can probably see behind me the crowd is growing and growing. We're like we're like champagne in a bottle. Waiting for the cork to blow. A lot of running. And look at this. If you come all the way down to the end of the train, it's completely empty, or almost completely empty. And that was pretty chaotic. I could do without all the whistle blowing. The whistle blowing from the guards makes it sound like you should just sprint for your lives, you know, like Godzilla's on his way. Like run for your life. Makes it sound like the train is about to leave. Anyway, yeah, plenty of room on the train. All that panic was for nothing. So, 30 minutes and I'll be back in my part of KL. Coming to the end of my journey. Not a moment too soon. The gas tank is running on empty fumes. But, yeah, I rode the KTM train back to KL Central. And then here at KL Central, I can hop on the Kelana Jai line. Take me back to Masjid Jamek. Short walk from there, and I will be back at my hotel. The train has arrived. Maybe I can still make it. Well, I was going to officially end my Thaipusam day at the KL Central MRT platform, but just as I was getting on the escalator, I heard the train arriving, or actually I saw people coming down, so I sped up and I got on the train. So here I am, back in my neighborhood, and you know that because you can see the Petronas Towers, KL Tower, and my hotel is just a short distance away. So I think here I'll end the video. Yeah, long day, tiring day, obviously. My alarm was set for 3:30 this morning so that I could definitely make one of the trains, so that I could show up at the temple to meet up with Sat and his whole family, and all that worked out perfectly. I don't mind arriving places an hour early even, because then I had my noodles there, got to experience a little bit of the Batu Caves at night atmosphere. That was very cool. And then the whole experience of the day was pretty amazing. Enjoyed that quite a bit. Opened my eyes to a lot of things to do with Thaipusam, the Indian community here. Very interesting day. And thank you very much, of course, to Sat and his brothers and his wife, his mother, the whole family who opened their arms wide and just welcomed me to join them for the entire day. And that was kind of symbolized when we got to the base, the stairs heading up to Batu Caves itself. And all of the people who were organizing this event, they saw me, and everybody started yelling and pointing at me and saying, "You, out! You can't, you don't belong here with your looks. You belong, get out of here. Go that way, go that way." And then Sat and his family, they said, "No, he's with us. He's part of our family today." So up we went. I went up with them. I enjoyed that very much, being part of the family for the day. So yeah, if you've watched the video all the way to this point, of course, that makes you part of the Planet Doug Crunch Club. Congratulations, you're now a member. Put CC in the comments to let me know. I love the Crunch Club. And of course, for this particular experience, Thaipusam, there's going to be bonus video, bonus material on the Planet Doug Patreon, of course. I've been shooting a Relive video all day. Hopefully that works out. That will be on Planet Doug Patreon. Perhaps a Blue Dot bonus video to go along with the Thaipusam video. Who knows, maybe a bunch of other things. And all of that is on the Planet Doug Patreon. There's a free membership over there. Head over to Patreon, type patreon.com, type Planet Doug in the search bar. It'll pop up. Join as a free member. If you want to support the channel at all, you can join one of the tiers, get bonus perks and benefits. Check out the Planet Doug Patreon. Who knows? It might be for you. And yeah, I'll see you there. So that's it. Shutting down for now, the end of Thaipusam 2025, and I'll see you in the next video.